All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to College Basketball Scoreboard for this Tuesday, January the 10th. All right, we're going to get right to it. Got some scores from Saturday. We're going to go right through Monday, and we'll get right into it. So starting on Friday, 8 games on Friday. Akron defeating Western Michigan 66-59. Monmouth over Iona 92-74. Ryder over Marist 73-62. Dayton over Rhode Island 67-64. Green Bay defeats Milwaukee 80-74. Illinois Chicago over Detroit 78-64. Oakland over Valparaiso 78-66. And then Ohio defeats Kent State 85-67. Then we get to Saturday, 140 games. And so we had Weber State and Idaho State. That game was delayed. So we have number 1 Villanova defeating Marquette 93-81. Number 2 Baylor over Oklahoma State 61-57. Number 3 Kansas over Texas Tech 85-68. Number 6 Kentucky over Arkansas 97-71. Number 7 West Virginia over TCU 82-70. Number 8, Duke defeats Boston College 93-82. Number 9, Louisville over Georgia Tech 65-50. Number 10, Creighton over Providence 78-64. Number 12, Florida State over number 21, Virginia Tech 93-78. Number 15, Oregon over Washington State 85-66. Number 16, Xavier defeats St. John's 97-82. College Sport Check Basketball Scoreboard. Number 17, Arizona defeats Colorado 82-73. Number 18, Butler over Georgetown 85-76. Number 19, Mount St. Mary's, California defeats San Francisco 63-52. Number 22, Cincinnati defeats Houston 67-58. Number 23, Notre Dame over Clemson 75-70. And speaking of Clemson, congratulations, Clemson defeating Alabama. It was 35-33, right? 35-30. So there you go. Good job. That is an upset right there. Number 24, Florida defeats Tennessee 83-70. Seton Hall over DePaul 87-56. Temple over East Carolina 81-62. Syracuse over Pittsburgh 77-66. VCU defeats Massachusetts 81-64. Georgia over Missouri 71-66. Citadel over VMI 79-74. Bowling Green, they defeat Ball State 76-71. Northern Kentucky over Cleveland State 83-75. Penn State over Michigan State 72-63. South Carolina defeats Texas A&M 79-68. Illinois State over Indiana State 77-58. North Carolina Asheville over High Point 88-58. Liberty University, they defeat Campbell 61-54. Quinnipiac over Manhattan 81-72. Eastern Illinois over Eastern Kentucky 74-60. South Carolina Upstate defeats New Jersey Tech 75-65. Florida Atlantic over Florida International 73-64. Yale over Mitchell 102-46. Colorado State defeats the Air Force 85-58. Georgia State over South Alabama 78-77. Buffalo over Eastern Michigan 77-68. Western Illinois, they defeat Oral Roberts 86-71. St. Joseph's over Fordham 70-55. Fairleigh Dickinson over Bryant 87-84. Washington over Oregon State, 87-61. Kansas State over Oklahoma, 75-64. Middle Tennessee over North Texas, 79-68. New Mexico State over Chicago State, 78-62. Maryland over Michigan, 77-70. Mississippi over LSU, 95-78. Some more scores from Saturday. Mount St. Mary's defeats Central Connecticut State 77-68. Little Rock over Appalachian State 76-68. LIU Brooklyn over St. Francis of PA 83-70. Robert Morris defeats St. Francis of Brooklyn 62-58. Winthrop over Longwood 83-65. Delaware State over North Carolina A&T 55-53. Southern Illinois over Missouri State 75-67. Radford over Presbyterian 76-63. Charleston over Hofstra 77-71. College Basketball Scoreboard. Wagner defeats Sacred Heart 75-64. Florida Gulf Coast over Stetson 89-88. New Orleans over Incarnate Word 87-72. Toledo over Miami of Ohio 91-76. Youngstown over Wright State 80-75. San Diego over Pepperdine 76-68. Montana over Western Michigan 65-59. Morehead State over SIUE 73-65. South Dakota defeats IUPUI 85-74. Gardner-Webb over Charleston Southern 79-75. East Tennessee State over Mercer 67-58. Northern Illinois over Central Michigan 87-83. Coastal Carolina defeating Arkansas 80-65. Utah over Arizona State 88-82. Southern Miss over UTEP 73-65. Alabama A&M, they defeat Mississippi Valley State 79-76. Georgia Southern over Troy 86-82. St. Bonaventure over George Mason 82-72. North Carolina Greensboro defeating Western Carolina 76-57. Abilene Christian over Stephen F. Austin 69-60. SMU over South Florida 84-65. North Dakota over Southern Utah 95-65. Lipscomb over Kennesaw State 82-79. Indiana over Illinois 96-80. Chattanooga, they defeat Furman 80-64. San Jose State over Fresno State 69-62. Lamar over Southeastern Louisiana 74-54. Texas State over Texas Arlington 81-73. Omaha over South Dakota State 101-93. Ole Miss over Auburn 88-85. Florida A&M defeats Coppin State 54-53. Utah State over UNLV 79-63. Loyola Marymount over Santa Clara 66-56. Old Dominion over Western Kentucky 79-67. Texas Southern over Prairie View A&M 87-82. Southern University defeats Grambling 87-79. Allen over Towson 72-61. Siena over St. Peter's 56-54. IPFW over Denver 87-83. North Carolina Wilmington over Delaware 91-81. Alabama over Vanderbilt 59-56. Long Beach State over Riverside 70-64. North Florida defeating Jacksonville 80-64. Northeastern over James Madison 64-54. Marshall over Charlotte 110-93. Columbia over Howard 66-48. Princeton over Penn 61-52. Harvard over Dartmouth 74-58. Texas San Antonio defeats Louisiana Tech 69-68. Sam Houston State over Nicholls State 74-61. UC Davis over Cal Poly 68-64. Loyola Chicago, they defeat Bradley 78-62. Jacksonville State over Austin Peay 71-68. Missouri State over Belmont defeats Southeast Missouri State 87-75. Alabama Birmingham over Rice 88-81 in overtime. UMKC defeats Texas Rio Grande Valley 83-79. Texas A&M CC defeating Northwestern State 99-82. LaSalle defeats Kuzma 88-81. Houston Baptist over McNeese State 60-49. And Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns defeating the Louisiana Monroe Warhawks 69-60. Tennessee State over Tennessee Martin 76-65. Arkansas Pine Bluff over Alabama State 71-63. Tennessee Tech over Murray State, 71-67. Morgan State over Bethune-Cookman, 69-63. Northern Colorado over Northern Arizona, 83-79. Grand Canyon defeats Utah Valley, 82-72. BYU defeats Pacific 91-62. Iowa State over Texas 79-70. Cal State Bakersfield over Seattle 78-71. Idaho over Montana State 83-81. Portland State over Sacramento State 83-76. Cal State Northridge defeats Cal State Fullerton 70-65. UC Irvine over Hawaii 84-56. And finally Boise State defeats San Diego State 78-66, and one more, Nevada defeating New Mexico 105-104 in overtime. Now a bunch of games got postponed on Saturday due to the crazy weather. North Carolina State, North Carolina, they played on Sunday. Maryland Eastern Shore, North Carolina Central, also Drexel, William and Mary. South Carolina State and Hampton. Savannah State, Norfolk State, Alcorn State, Jackson State, Wolford, and Sanford. But we got those scores right here. Sunday and Monday scores. We'll do that right now because there's not a heck of a lot. We'll bang through it pretty quick. Starting with Sunday, Richmond over George Washington, 77-70. UMBC defeats Maine, 75-64. And North Carolina, they finally played on Sunday. Number 14, North Carolina defeating North Carolina State, 107-56. Bucknell defeats Holy Cross 68-49. Valparaiso over Detroit Mercy 81-74. Army West Point over Loyola Maryland 66-57. Massachusetts Lowell over Binghamton 79-75. The Navy defeating Colgate 67-55. Monmouth over Marist 71-64. Some more scores from Sunday. Cornell defeating Fisher 100-72. Let's see here. I can't read. Oh, Boston University defeats Lafayette 91-75. Davidson over St. Louis 77-66. Lehigh over American University 79-73. And Stony Brook defeats Albany, New York 72-70. Northwestern over Nebraska 74-66. Memphis over Tulane 80-59. Iona defeating Canisius 98-75. Vermont over Hartford 85-84. Drake defeats Evansville 88-76. Wichita State over Northern Iowa 80-66. Samford over Wolford 91-89. That was another game that was postponed. Number 20 Purdue defeating number 13 Wisconsin 66-55. Iowa over Rutgers 68-62. Rider defeating Niagara 89-78. Connecticut defeating Central Florida 64-49. Oakland defeating Illinois Chicago 58-57. Minnesota over Ohio State 78-68. Number 4 UCLA defeating Stanford 89-75. Number 11 Virginia over Wake Forest 79-62. And that brings us now to Monday's scores. Maryland Eastern Shore, they defeat North Carolina A&T 99-88. Georgetown over St. John's, New York 83-55. Coastal Carolina over Little Rock 66-63. Appalachian State defeats Arkansas State 70-57. Hampton over Savannah State 84-80. Troy over Georgia State 80-77. Georgia Southern defeating South Alabama 84-79. St. Peter's over Quinnipiac 58-54. Fort Wayne defeating Olivet 115-60. Now Delaware State, North Carolina Central, that game was postponed. Copen State defeating Bethune-Cookman 76-73. Also South Carolina State and Norfolk State, that game also postponed. Arkansas Pine Bluff defeats Alabama A&M 81-65. Jackson State over Southern University 65-61. Mississippi Valley State over Alabama State 73-70. And finally Grambling defeating Alcorn 67-62. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. Racing Fans Motorsports Radio Podcasting Network returning on February 22nd. Update you on all the NASCAR stuff.